Sorry, what? I don't know sign language.
Hello, please give water.
Oh, you want water?
Thank you.
Running image captioning. A couple of men sitting in front of laptop computers. Would you like to try again? Running image captioning. A fan that is on top of a chair.
How many laptops are there?
Running visual question answering. How many laptops are there? 2.
What is the color of the chair?
Running visual question answering. What is the color of the chair? Red.
Hello everyone, I am Gayatri and I welcome you all to the RMI Inductions Briefing 2023. Some of you here may be keenly interested in robotics and some others may have participated in Genesis and now you are excited to take further steps into this amazing world. Perhaps you're even an absolute beginner. Regardless of which stage of your robotics journey you are at, we assure you that the RMI inductions are designed to suit all your requirements. Today's induction briefing will take you over our club RMI, who we are, what we do, what problem we work on, our accomplishments, our assets, and our alumni. Then we will move on to the most awaited segment for today, the inductions. We will brief you about the various induction channels we have in store for you guys. This will give you a clear idea about the path that will lead you to RMI and bring out the inner robotics engineer in you. I now invite Farhan Celia, the president of RMI, to talk about what we do, how we do it, and our work so far.
Thank you, Gayatri, for the warm welcome. Hey guys, I'm Farhan, the current president of RMI, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the induction briefing of RMI 2023. And before we get started with the induction process, let me introduce RMI as a club to all the robotic enthusiasts out there. Who are we? We are the official Robotics and Machine Intelligence Club of NIT3G. We are a team of like minded individuals who are passionate about robotics. Our main goal is to work on technical research projects, take part in robotic competitions, explore several domains of robotics, and apply our knowledge practically to solve problems with innovative solutions. Our vision as a club is to establish an active community of passionate robotic enthusiasts to conduct research in the fields of robotics and keep a track of the advances in various domains of robotics. Lastly, we aim to utilize our knowledge of robotics to solve real-world problems with practical and innovative solutions. Now, what do we do as a club? We are primarily involved in building innovative projects to solve real-world problems. We participate in various competitions to stay updated on the various advances and domains of robotics. And finally, we conduct several events to share knowledge and build a community for all the robotic enthusiasts like you. Coming to the projects, RMI as a club has set foot in various fields of robotics, including mobile robotics, assistive robotics, healthcare robotics, aerial robotics, and even humanoid robotics. Few of our projects include HEALCOM. HEALCOM stands for Health Companion, so it's a two-wheeled self-balancing robot designed to assist medical staff in hospitals to perform tasks like monitoring patients, transporting medical supplies, and keeping track of vitals of patients. Next is Quadro. Quadro is a fully autonomous quadcopter which uses vision-based position control, sensors like GPS, LiDAR, camera, and performs image processing to carry out last-mile delivery of first aid kits and medical supplies. Next, we have Hexapod. Hexapod is a six-legged bio-inspired robot. It has 18 degrees of freedom, which enables it to travel on uneven rocky surfaces, carry payload, and offer better stability. It's primarily used to carry out inspection and surveillance tasks. Next, we have Virya. Virya is an autonomous rover designed for space exploration. It's capable of mapping terrains of extraterrestrial surfaces using sensors like LiDAR, camera, and GPS. It also involves a rocker bogie suspension to assist traversing over uneven surfaces. Next, we have ROV. ROV is a remotely operated underwater vehicle. It's an autonomous underwater robot or a submarine which has several sensors with the aim to carry out inspection and surveillance operations underwater. Next, we have ANVI. It stands for Assistance in Navigation for Visually Impaired People. So it provides assistance to blind people in navigations by providing audio instructions. Next, we have Levi. It uses Wi-Fi signals to localize and map enclosed spaces. Next, we have SSE, which is a speech to sign converter. It's a wearable device that can read signs and gestures of a person and convert them to a simple speech. Next, we have ARIBot, which stands for Autonomous Rail Inspection Bot. So it's a four-wheeled robot used to detect defects on railway tracks. Next, we have Sparrow. Sparrow stands for Spatial Augmentation and Reconstruction of Objects. So it involves creation of 3D meshes of objects from input images taken on any device using deep learning models. Next, we have STAR, which is a system for tracking animals using radar by detecting vital signs like heartbeat and respiratory rate. Some of our other projects include PAB, which is a Precision Agriculture Bot, Mind over Matter, and SRF, which stands for Supernumerary Robotic Fingers. Coming to our achievements, most of the projects we take up are pushed towards publications in renowned technical and research conferences and journals like IEEE, ROSMA, etc. Many of our club members have been awarded renowned scholarships like MITAX, DARD, CMU RIS, CHARPAK, etc. Last year, we as a club won over 30 plus competitions, some of which include one of our teams winning SIH, the Smart India Hackathon, one team winning Yantra, a robotic competition organized by IIT Bombay. With this, we also have a great record of winning at Sangam in the various fields of defense, healthcare, and environment. This year, we are proud to say that 5 of our teams have qualified for the second round of RoboFest, a fully funded competition organized by Gujarat government. Coming to the events we organize, we have Inhots, Genesis, and following. So, Inhots is an inter-hostel technical tournament where participants build a bot based on a given problem statement and perform tasks based on specific constraints. Every year, we conduct Genesis, which is our annual workshop where different domains of robotics are taught through a hands-on project. Lastly, we have Following, which is an annual robotics competition where freshmen build innovative line following robots. RMI boasts to have a great alumni network with people studying in top universities like Stanford, CMU, USCLA, and working in renowned companies like Nvidia, Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, and many more. So, being part of RMI, you can get a chance to interact with them and get valuable guidance for your career. If you wish to know more about us and what we do, you can visit our website rmi.nitt.edu. That's what's all about what we as a club, what we as RMI have to offer. And through the induction process, we are looking for individuals who have the dedication to learn, explore, and a driving passion towards robotics, have good teamwork and collaboration skills, have problem solving abilities, and lastly, is committed and hard work to the work that's carried out in RMI. There's no need to have any prior knowledge to get inducted, but all you need is the drive and the zeal to learn, explore, and try till you achieve what you want to achieve. Thank you. Over to Gayatri.
Thank you, Farhan. I hope you all now have a fair idea about our club RMI. For further information about our club, do check out our website rmi.nitt.edu and our Instagram page rmi_nitt. You can also take a look at our YouTube channel where we have videos of the various projects that we have undertaken in the past. It's now time to move to the main agenda for today, inductions. We understand that all of you have different levels of exposure and different skill sets. Keeping this in mind, we have split our induction process into two primary channels, pre-inductions and weekly tasks. Firstly, pre-inductions are for people who believe that they have some prior experience in the field of robotics or related domains and want to start off right away. On the other hand, weekly basic tasks are designed for absolute beginners who have no prior experience but are interested and willing to learn about robotics. I now call upon Anas and Srinidhi to talk about pre-inductions and weekly tasks respectively. Over to you guys.
Hello everyone, this is Anas from RMI and I am going to brief you about pre-induction track of the induction process of this year. This year, in the induction process of RMI, there are two tracks. One is weekly task track and the other one is pre-induction track. Now, there might be a question, who should opt for pre-induction track and why one should choose pre-induction track? So, it is highly recommended those who have a prior knowledge in any field of robotics to opt for this track, as there is no need of doing a basic task if you have basic knowledge. And moreover, in this track, there is one stage which is summer project stage, where you will be asked to build your own personal project of your own choice under the guidance of RMI. So let us discuss more about the pre-induction track in the upcoming slide. As this diagram represents the pre-induction track, here you can see pre-induction track consists of certain stages starting from hackathon, followed by PI1, PI2, summer project, and then this summer project is again followed by project review and finally HR round. So if you qualify If you successfully qualify all these 6 stages, then you will be finally inducted to RMI. Now, let us discuss more about each stages of this track. So the very first stage of this track, that is hackathon, it will be a 12-hour hackathon which will be conducted by RMI in the upcoming days, and the details and further instruction of this hackathon will be posted soon. So in this hackathon, you will be provided problem statements of different domains, including machine learning, electronics, computer vision, mechanics, etc. And you need to solve those problem statements, and then you need to submit your answers. Based on your submission, you will be shortlisted to PI1. But uh, but very important point should be noted here that even though if you do partial submission, then it is also allowed. After shortlisting to PI1, your PI1 will happen on the basis of your hackathon submissions. So you will be questioned on the basis of what you have submitted in the hackathon, and if you successfully pass this stage, then you will be directed to the next stage of this track, that is PI2. In PI2, certain advanced concept will be tested, and you will be asked on certain advanced concept. And if you successfully qualify this stage, then you will be routed to the next stage, that is summer project stage. This is the very interesting stage of this track, summer project. In summer project, a period of roughly 1 month will be given to you, and you need to pass through certain phases in that period. These phases consist of ideation of your project, then followed by creation of a workflow of your project, and finally completion of your project. During this period, you will be provided complete mentorship of RMI, and all the components which are required for your project will be provided by RMI. So if you successfully pass all the phases, that is, if you successfully complete your project, then you will be into the next level of the stage, that is project review. In the project review, you will be questioned on the basis of your project, and then finally you will move into the next round, that is HR round. So after successful completion of all the 6 stages, you will inducted into the RMI. Hope this pre-induction track is clear to you. Now I would invite Srinidhi to explain weekly task track.
Hello everyone, I am Srinidhi from the ICE department, batch 2025. Today I would be briefing you about the second channel of inductions, that is through weekly tasks. As discussed by Anas, the pre-inductions give a significant edge for people who have a prior knowledge. So what do people with very little knowledge or with who is completely new to robotics do? Well, weekly tasks is the right place for you. Why should you choose weekly tasks? That is, if you're an absolute beginner, but at the same time you have the equal amount of interest and the determination to explore the field of robotics, its various domains, and who has an equally good consistency in throughout, can join the weekly tasks, and accordingly you can enter the club. So the weekly task consists of 3 levels, that is the basic, intermediate, and advanced, each with increasing level of difficulty. And these levels are spread over 5 domains, namely mechanics, electronics, computer vision, machine learning, and control systems. And regarding the timeline, so you would be first attempting the basic level tasks where we will be checking your level of application of your fundamental concepts through the tasks, and you are required to attempt at least one question from each domain in basic tasks, because as beginners we want you to explore the various domains so that you can find out your interest, and then with a little bit of increase in difficulty you would be moving on to the intermediate level tasks, where you are free to choose your domain and the amount of questions, and then moving on you would be going through the advanced level. And after your submissions, if your learning curve is great and we feel that it is satisfactory, you would be going on to the personal interview 1, then the PI2, and then the HR interview, and if everything goes well you will be part of the RMI family. You are free to choose and attempt how many ever questions from how many ever domains you want, and don't worry, enough time would be given for each level. Considering how much a beginner would take, we have set the time for each of the levels. And as a side note, there is no disqualification between these levels. That is, after basic or intermediate, there's no qualification to join the next level. After all these three submissions of your of all the submissions of these three levels, you would be evaluated, you would be checked your consistency and the other criteria which I would be telling you, and then you would be moved on to the PIs. So how do we evaluate your tasks? So definitely, if your solution is much more unique and efficient than others, you would be given more preference and more the amount of points. And as I said before, solve how many ever questions you can, the more the better. And the task document should be submitted within the given deadline. And as I said, partial answers are also considered. I stress again that even the partial answers are also considered. If you feel that the questions, the solution of the task is not correct, but you have a certain approach towards it, please do submit the task, because we do give preference to partial answers. What we prefer is not the correct solution, more than that, the approach in which you had towards the solution. So that is really important, and there is no pressure on to get the answer or the solution right. And as I said before, the basic tasks, you need to get a minimum of one task per, you need to complete minimum of one task per domain. For intermediate tasks, there's no cap on the amount of tasks and amount of and the domains to be chosen. And for the advanced tasks, the specific instructions would be given in the document later in the task document. As I said, to overall sum it up, try and exploring maximum number of domains possible. Even partial answers are considered, and keep the momentum going. And if your learning curve is satisfactory and you have learned much more from the advanced and the intermediate than the basic, surely you would be moved on to the interviews and then eventually to the club. And to explain more about the comparison between the pre-induction, weekly inductions, the timeline, and what if something goes wrong in the pre-induction, what would happen? All of this, Anas would be explaining through the next slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinidhi, for explaining them a weekly task tracker. Now, for most of you, it seems pre-induction tracker might seem you a bit risky, because if one could not qualify a particular stage, then he might be feeling that he would be out of the induction process of RMI. But it is not so. Here came a concept of rerouting. So let me explain this concept and what is the relationship between a weekly task track and the pre-induction track. So in this thing, once you did your hackathon, then you will be shortlisted on the basis of your submission to the PI1. And if you did well in PI1, then you will move to the next stage of this track, that's PI2. But if you fail to do so, and during your hackathon submission and during your PI1, if we felt that there is some improvement required in you, then you will be rerouted to the basic level tasks of weekly task track. Okay, then, but if you qualified for PI2 and your PI2 went well, then a choice will be given, which we would discuss later. But if your PI2 doesn't went well, then you will again reroute to the intermediate level tasks of the weekly task track. But as I earlier mentioned, if you did well in your PI2, then a choice would be given. What is the choice? A choice whether you want to continue with same track by opting for summer project, or you want to go and do advanced level task of weekly task track, and you want to continue the induction process through that track. So if you select the summer project summer project stage, and you wanted to continue the weekly in the pre-induction track, then as I have earlier mentioned, a period of roughly 1 month will be provided to you, and under the complete guidance of RMI, you will you have to pass certain stages of certain phases of this stage, and you need to build your project. After that, on the basis of your project, you will be reviewed in the stage 4 of pre-induction track, and then finally you will be in HR round. So after successful completion of this track, you will be inducted into RMI. So here the concept of rerouting makes sure that the people should not have threat of moving out from the induction process if they didn't do well in the pre-induction track. Hopefully, the pre-induction track as well as weekly task track and their relationship and the relationship between them is clear to you. But if you have a little bit amount of a doubt, then do ask us in Q&A session, which will be held after this briefing. See you in the induction process, and all the best for induction. Goodbye.
Thank you, Anas and Srinidhi. I'm sure the participants now have a clear idea about the whole process. One point I would like to strongly emphasize is that we do not expect you to come in with prior knowledge or experience. All we want from you is the willingness and dedication to learn. We strongly encourage all the participants to apply for the induction process as it will help you discover your interests, learn many things, and grow as individuals. The reason we have divided this process into streams is because we want to give everybody the learning curve they deserve. In case of any queries, feel free to contact any of the club members or DM us on our Instagram handle. We will be more than happy to clarify any of your doubts. To reiterate once again, the primary aim of this whole induction process is not only to induct people into this club, but also to provide a platform where an individual who doesn't know the ABC of robotics can effectively take their baby steps into this vast and diverse domain. This will be highly beneficial to you in various aspects of your college life and add immense value to your resume. Having said this, it's now time to answer all your questions. Drop your questions into the YouTube live chat box and our team will answer them right away. Once the Q&A session is done, we will conclude the briefing. I hand it over to the team.
All right, so we have a first question. Do we require any prerequisites to apply for the inductions? So, as has been said before in the briefing, the only real prerequisite that you have in order to apply for the club is just an interest in the various domains of robotics. So, even if you are a complete newbie to the entire world of robotics, we've structured the induction process in such a way that is, especially if you don't have any experience, the weekly tasks induction channel will be is especially made for you because it's been structured in such a way that you can learn as you go along. So at every single stage, that is the basic, the intermediate, as well as the advanced tasks, you'll be getting resources for every single stage. And using those resources, you can pick up any knowledge that is required for the entire induction process during the inductions. So there's no real prerequisites, as in you don't need to learn anything before applying for the inductions. You can just go ahead, and if you don't have any experience, the weekly task induction channel, that's probably the best choice for you.
I'll take up this question. So we have five main domains: electronics, computer vision, machine learning, mechanics, and controls.
Farhan, would you like to take up that question?
Okay, so how is RMI robotics different from spider robotics? So See, RMI is exclusively a robotics club, so we do hardcore robotics and we do include machine intelligence as well. As compared to Spider, Spider involves particularly in control and machine learning aspect, and they do have a domain as robotics. But we as a club are completely dedicated to entire robotics because robotics is a very diverse field which has multiple domains as mentioned by Valimel. It has mechanics, electronics, control. So we do involve in a lot of projects which comprises all of them and interdisciplinary project, and because that's what robotics is defined as. And as compared to Spider, Spider is involved particularly in controls and machine learning. And as far as we are concerned, we do exclusively hardcore robotics, and we cover all the aspects of different domains of robotics. And it's not just the various domains. We have various sub levels of robotics like aerial robotics, humanoid robotics, assistive robotics, healthcare robotics. So we are primarily involved in those aspects. Yeah.
Okay, so we have the next question. How do you choose a domain to work on? So you'll have the choice throughout the induction process, at least to begin with all of the domains, assuming that you're taking up the weekly channel. You'll your basic tasks. You'll have to take up one domain. I mean, you'll have to take up one question from every single domain. However, as you move through to the weekly as well as the intermediate as well as the advanced tasks, you can choose to narrow down and onto the domains that you're actually really interested in as you go through it. So I would say just begin by exploring every single domain that we have, and as you go through the induction process, you will eventually figure out what your interests are. And if you already have some interest, for example, if you're interested in coding, computer vision is a really good choice for you. So you can go ahead and explore those domains as well. That's completely up to you.
So I will take
Anas?
this question.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So regarding hackathon, it will be mostly around 12-hour hackathon, which will be conducted by RMI in the upcoming days. And the further details of hackathon will be posted soon to you guys. And in this hackathon, basically problem statements of various domains, as we mentioned, like 5 domains, will be provided to you, and you need to solve. The most important thing in this hackathon is partial submission is also allowed. So we highly recommend to do a decent attempt in this hackathon and try to attempt this hackathon.
Just to add on to what Anas has said, so the 5 domains that we have, all of them will have a number of problem statements under each domain. So these problem statements, they'll expect you to have some amount of prerequisite knowledge in those particular domains. So if you have some amount of knowledge in, say, computer vision, you can go ahead and you will be able to attempt those particular problem statements. And there may be some interdisciplinary problem statements as well. And like Anas said, the main goal of this hackathon is going to be see how you approach problems. So even if you're not able to do one entire problem correctly from beginning to end, we will still take into consideration your entire approach. And in case your hackathon does not go well, you can always switch into the weekly track. So there's no disadvantage to be had if you don't do well in your hackathon. So if you feel like it's something that you would want to do, if you want to get the hackathon experience, then that will be a good choice for you. That is, go ahead with the hackathon. Wally, you can take this up.
I'll take it. Yes. So in the weekly task path, are the tasks actual projects similar to the pre-induction or just testing our knowledge at various levels? No. The tasks are made in such a way that you will learn from the scratch. So it's just to like test your knowledge at various levels. It's not similar to pre-inductions exactly. Guys, you want to add on?
Yeah, so are the tasks actual projects? There won't be, for example, if you're doing like a basic task in computer vision, I'll choose that as an example. You will have to implement a very small feature in computer vision. We aren't going to expect you to do something very, very complicated from beginning to end. They'll be testing certain parts of, they'll be seeing how you can apply certain concepts of computer vision in order to do your task. So they won't be a complete project from beginning to end. They'll be testing certain parts of that particular domain and how you can apply them in order to solve the problem. Anas, you want to take this one up?
Yeah, so regarding this question, yes, we do provide references in the weekly task tracker. Let's say you are into the weekly task tracker, and we have provided basic tasks, then along with the basic task, we will provide the references for each domain. So don't no need to worry. Just do your attempt.
Next question from Sheena. What will be the tasks in RMI based on? Is it Python or design or making a robot? So since there are so many different domains in RMI, that is, we have control systems, we have computer vision, then we have mechanics. We have all of these domains. So the tasks will be structured in such a way that they'll be testing you on that particular domain. I can't tell you, for example, that we'll be testing you on your Python knowledge. You may have a computer vision task where you will have to write some code, and that code may be written in Python. So we won't be testing you on Python specifically. And design as well, you will have a mechanics task where you may have to design something, and over there we'll have tested your design skills in using some particular software. And as for making a robot from beginning to end, we won't be expecting that from you in at least until the end of the pre-induction channel or the entire weekly task channel. We won't expect you to be making a robot during the inductions from beginning to end at any point, so you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I'll take up this question. So the deadlines are made such that it won't clash with your academic schedule. So don't worry.
Okay. Are there any networking opportunities within the club or connections to other robotic organizations? So yeah, we do have certain collaborations and we are definitely involved with other robotic organizations through competitions, through mentorships, and through funding. So based on the competition and based on the event we participate in, we do look for collaborations and we do look for funding based on the scale of the project and the interest of our members. So yeah, we are open to collaboration as well, and we do work on projects based on the requirements. And yeah,
Are there any opportunities for internships and research projects or industry collaborations through the club? So the skills that you actually pick up through the club, that is the projects that you will be doing, they'll enable you to be to apply for some pretty big shot internships and research projects. So if you look at our current member base for RMI, we have several people who are in MyTax or are in DADS, very, very large programs. So the skills that you pick up through RMI and the projects that you do will enable you to be applying for these internships and research projects. So within RMI, we don't actively look for internships or research projects. However, the skills that you pick up through the club, they'll enable you to be applying for these internships and research projects. Plus, through the number of seniors that we have, we regularly also have sessions on how to apply for internships and how to go about finding the right college for masters. So you'll get enough help from your seniors if required, and if you're planning to apply for any internships. So yeah, no worries over there. Anas, you want to take this one?
So we would suggest you you should explore all the domains at least for beginner task that will be provided at the beginning stage of a weekly task track, and then the domain which you feel better or which you like, then we will suggest you to further proceed with that domain in the rest of the stages in the track.
Adding to the last point, there is no limit to the number of domains you can attempt. You can always start with any domain you like and you can switch. But as far as basic tasks are concerned, you are required to attempt all the domains. And as you proceed with the intermediate and advanced stage, it's up to you. And based on your interest and the time you have, you can attempt as many domains you want.
How many people do we induct every year into RMI? So we can't give you a set number as to how many people we will be inducting. That'll depend on how much interest is shown by people in your batch. So depending upon how the relative performance is for people within your batch, we'll be taking people into RMI. So there's no set number that we've decided upon. It'll be depending on your performance. So yeah, no real set number. Farhan, would you like to take up this question?
How does the club celebrate and recognize the achievements and progress of its members? Okay, so over the year, we do have reviews of every member to keep a track of how they have been progressing throughout the year. And based on their interest, we the projects are allocated based on the interest of its members. And RMI as a club has given complete freedom to each of its members to choose their projects, grow, because it's a club where you can learn and explore. So there's no pressure on any of its members. They're free to grow on their own pace, but we have a dedicated timeline, we have a dedicated workflow with our projects. And I've already mentioned in our briefing, we do have a dedicated work streak of achievements over the years through a lot of competitions. So our main goal as a club is to give the exposure the members need in different fields of robotics, and the achievements is just a show of what they have achieved and what they have learned. And as a club, um, we do uh, appreciate the efforts put in by members, and the achievements are just a display of what we do as a club over the year. Yeah.
I'll take up this question. So usually it will go around a month, but it's not fixed. It depends on your academic schedules, right? So it depends, but mostly it will be around 1 month or so.
So the deadline for registration is Saturday night, 27th of May, 11:59 p.m. And the hackathon will be end on 9 a.m. on Sunday, 28th of May. So you have time till the end of Saturday night for registering for the hackathon, as well as for the inductions in general. We have kept it open for both the weekly and the pre-induction tasks. So the pre-induction track will begin with the hackathon. That's on Sunday, 9 a.m., 28th of May. So you have time till midnight of 27th of May. That's Saturday.
When will you be getting the resources? So the resources will be shared along with your tasks. So for example, if you're going down the weekly task induction channel, with every single with every single level, that is the basic task, with the intermediate as well as the advanced task, will be getting resources. So don't worry about that. You'll be getting resources fairly soon, as soon as the induction is given, basically. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of all of the questions that we have. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us for the induction briefing. And once again, a reminder: the deadline is this Saturday midnight. So make sure that you apply for the inductions before that. And if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to us either through our Instagram page or to any of the members who you may know in the club. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to any questions that you guys may have, and we look forward to you guys applying for the induction. So yeah, we'll be seeing you very soon. Thank you so much.
The form has been put in the chat. So as mentioned earlier, the deadline will be 27th of May midnight, and the forms are out. So do give it a shot, and yeah, see you at the inductions. Thank you for joining, guys.